Active transportation in Amsterdam. How is Amsterdam's language of transport prioritizing active transportation while supporting multiple modes at the same time? We will begin by breaking down the experience based on mode on Alexanderplein and Mauritsgade that include Amsterdam's most primary modes of traffic, as traffic intersections harbor the most potential for interaction and interruption between modes. For pedestrians, visual indicators include zebra stripes for crossing and cross lights. Tactile paving is embedded within most sidewalks for the visually impaired. Clicking sounds are audible at most intersections through every round of traffic flow and indicate when to move. Multi-stage pedestrian crossings, often after crossing bike lanes and in between lanes of traffic, are used to lessen the physical burden and intimidation factor when crossing large intersections. When crossing bike paths, pedestrians cross freely without controlled traffic signals, which keeps the flow of pedestrians and cyclists. The strong presence of accessibility infrastructure in walkways exemplifies that Amsterdam's walking wayfinding language prioritizes supporting the various needs and experiences of pedestrians. Visually, red pavement marks the designated bike path area. Physical separation between bike lanes and car lanes is achieved by raised curbs and green space, poles, and other physical obstacles. The bike lanes extend through intersections and potential traffic conflicts, and as a result, it is prohibited for cars to turn right on a red light to minimize the occurrence of collisions. In addition to the prioritized safety functions of Amsterdam's biking infrastructure, the urban design of Amsterdam's roads are constructed with bikeability in mind, benefiting from having a largely flat terrain and low curbs to prevent overexertion. A major benefit to these standardized low curbs is flexibility for cyclists. We observed a cyclist coming from a construction area. As they traveled through our intersection, the matching roadway heights allowed the biker to use vehicle lanes to get to the nearest bike lane rather than having to possibly take a longer detour. And finally, we observed drivers. Visually, the car wayfinding language is largely dictated by signs, roadway markers, and traffic lights, forcing drivers to be attentive. Intersections often have their traffic lights mounted on large and highly visible poles. The excessive vertical structures have a narrowing effect. This, as well as brick roads, tight turns, and speed bumps, often help calm traffic. There's also a lot of signage posted at intersections, such as the 30 km/h speed limit. What stood out among the signage is the lack of stop signs. Instead, the Dutch rely on shark teeth signals, informing commuters to yield to crossing traffic without relying on a sign to immediately deduce the right-of-way. How can we bring this back to Saskatoon? Humanistic design in urban planning means addressing the concerns and needs of humans and their experience with commuting, especially when moving towards supporting active modes of transportation. A priority-based traffic light system prohibiting right turns on red lights at conflict-prone intersections could help retain both safety and traffic flow. In Saskatoon's plans to implement new bikeways, a reduced speed limit in some areas, and separation from car traffic with either distance or physical barriers should be utilized as safety precautions. Saskatoon would also benefit from improving its consistency in tactile paving and auditory traffic signals to ensure walking is accessible. Adapting these design practices over time naturally fosters an increased attentiveness in commuters. Bikeways must also be constructed for smooth and dependable travel or be prioritized to be regularly maintained like the asphalt of other main car roadways. While Saskatoon is lucky to have a flat terrain to support bikeability, Some curbs may need to be lowered or include ramps to allow bikers to switch between roadways and other trails. When establishing a wayfinding language of shared transit within Saskatoon, the environment must support multiple modes of transit. Traffic calming near bicycle and pedestrian areas should be utilized as a safety precaution. Dutch urban planning may seem like a faraway utopia where active transportation is more than feasible. Yet, this wayfinding language of shared transport is built upon various discrete and implicit design decisions in traffic rules. Road material layouts that, when applied to an urban space in aggregate, manifests as a blueprint for how we can transform car-centric centers like Saskatoon into more wayfinding cultures of active transportation.